Welcome back to this week's episode. On today's podcast, I welcome on photographer Keena. Keena is a photographer specializing in commercial advertising, lifestyle, and portraiture work. Keena's done work for brands such as Visa, Kona Beer, Converse, and much more. In this interview, I speak to Keena about how he approaches marketing his work, how he's kind of built a career in photography that's been sustainable, working for big brands and doing big campaigns. So it's really great to speak to Keena. He's someone I really admire. Always out there is marketing his work, making zines, and getting in front of people. So I was really glad to have him on the podcast and also speak to him about some personal projects. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Also, just want to say I got some new t-shirts available on the website. I got t-shirts and hoodies. You can go to thephotobanter.com. If you'd like to support, it'd be much appreciated. Kind of helps the podcast keep going. So you can go there, thephotobanter.com, if you want to grab a t-shirt or a hoodie. It'd be much appreciated. And also I have to give a big thank you to our sponsor, PickDrop. PickDrop is a file transfer tool that was actually founded by working photographers with photographers in mind. You can easily drag and drop your photos into custom galleries and send them securely to your clients via links. And you can track everything in one spot and see who's interacting and making notes on your photos. I've been using it for 5 years now, and the thing I like about it, this kind of streamlines my workflow, and I can communicate with my clients all in one spot and track everything. And another cool thing about PickDrop is they're never going to use your photos for AI training, which a lot of these other companies are doing these days, because they are working photographers themselves and understand what it's like to have their photos stolen. So they would never do that without your permission. And with today's episode, if you use the promo code BANTER, you'll get 2 months free of the PickDrop image transfer tool. So definitely go give it a try. All you got to do is go over to pickdrop.com, enter the promo code BANTER, and just let me know what you guys think. All right, I now welcome on Keena. First question, man. I never asked you this. We met up like a few months back while you were visiting Boston. Your photo name is just Keena. Have you always gone by that? There's no last name. Is Keena your government name? Like, what's the backstory? Keena.
The secrets come out. No, that's is my last name.
Mm-hmm.
But like since I've gone out on my own shooting, it's sort of been the name that everybody's called me for since like 2008. It was like my first rep said that we should go for that. The long story that makes more sense. Do you know Stubbs out of Boston?
I don't think so.
DP director.
Yeah.
He's my best friend, and we had a studio in Boston together. But his first name was actually Steve, and his last name Schinnerer. And I had some dream one night that I called him Stebbs, and I was like, dude, you're going out there trying to like market yourself. I already know like 4 Steves in my life. I can't have another Steve, and nobody can spell your last name. What if you just went by Stebbs?
Yeah.
Because when you're at a party, one, people are going to ask you to say the name again. Then they're going to ask you how to spell it. Then they're going to ask you like where it came from. It's like it set him up for success. He's like, all right, it sounds kind of weird, but let's try it. And then suddenly like it took off for him, and he was able to get like Stebbs.com,
Yeah.
Stebbs on Instagram, like all the handles were open.
So you jumped
that,
on.
When I first got signed, I asked my rep, I was like, I hate to even bring this up. It's weird to like talk about using a single name. Like
You're like Prince. You're gonna go by
like, exactly, yeah. But it's like my first name is Justin, which is like the third most popular name of the 80s. It's like, Justin, Steve, Mike, John.
You're right. Keena just works way better. It's just
it works better. I was able to get the domains. People remember it. It's unique.
Yeah.
Like, or it was unique way back then. Now it's getting more popular, but
it's like Platon. Everyone just knows Platon. I don't want to know I don't even want to know what his other names are. It just hits, man. Just,
if it works, just go with it. So
yeah, man. I was excited to talk to you. Like, obviously, we've been like Instagram friends for a while, and then we finally got to meet up in person a few months back, and always kind of respected your work, but also this really respect your hustle, man. Like you're, I think a lot of people could look at your photos and think like, oh, Keena's just out there. He's like this free spirit, which you are. Like you're living life and stuff. But on the back end, you're out there grinding. Like when you're out here in Boston, you were meeting with as many people as you can to show your work. I think you were going down to New York to show your work. Um, is like the marketing aspect of your work something that you've always been good at? Like how do you approach it, and like how do you kind of view that? Because you're someone I look to like you get after it, and I really respect that, man.
I think probably because I grew up hustling in Boston,
Yeah.
which was sort of like not the hottest spot for the kind of shoots I was going after. So then I'd always go down, like I lived in Boston, but then I'd keep going down and marketing in New York. I was like, all right, I'm only here for 3 days. Like I gotta have 10 meetings a day, really make it worth it. If I'm not gonna live in New York, I have to sort of have a bigger, just milk it more for those 3 days and go hard.
Hmm.
And so then same thing, I moved to San Francisco, like stayed outside of LA, the hotspot, but then made a conscious effort, like, okay, I'm going down to LA. All right, 3 days, 10 meetings a day, not going to sleep till midnight, doing coffee, lunch, meetings, happy hours, you know, just keep going, 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 and then you can sleep the week after.
Yeah, and I guess what advice do you give for people listening who are like trying to get their work out there? Because as you know, you take those 10 meetings a day, 90% of them are probably just dead ends. Like,
Sure.
could be great meetings, you still have a connection, it's great, but like it just doesn't actually lead to anything. Have you just kind of built like a thick skin, like that's just part of the game, like you just deal with that?
That's just part of the game. That is the game. Like
Yeah.
if you're not up for those odds,
Hmm.
then it's not the game to play at all, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you have to just do 100 meetings to plant the seeds, and then you get maybe 5% come back. But
Yeah.
that 5% is like spread out over 5 years of coming back.
Yep.
And so it's always been weird. Like the whole marketing, you don't know, like so much of the marketing you do, you just don't know if it did anything.
Hmm.
It's like an intangible line. Like you get hired for a job and you ask people like, "Oh, where'd they hear about you?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't even remember." But you have those meetings and nothing comes after it. So it's like it's hard to even connect the dots how that marketing works.
Hmm.
I just I've sort of given up on trying, and it's like I like hanging out with people. I like
Yeah.
having coffees with people. Uh and then just don't think about it as marketing. I'm just trying to make new friends and we'll see what comes back.
Yeah,
Cross
there's
your fingers.
yeah, making work and then making the conscious effort just to connect with people and stuff, and it goes
Right.
somewhere. It goes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's definitely not an immediate comeback. So it's sort of like you better be ready for that gap of nothing immediately coming back from those meetings. But if you don't do those meetings,
Yeah.
you're not planting any seeds.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you feel this way. Like I've been at this. We're about similar age. I'm think I'm going into like year 18 working in this business, and I still have to remind myself that even though like the marketing aspect of emailing or sending out promos or something, most of the time you don't hear anything, but it doesn't mean no one's looking at it. And it's like this weird mental trick. I'm doing like, you know what I mean? Because even like some of the jobs I had last year, I was like planted the seed 6 years ago. And kind of
Exactly.
forgot I even planted the seed 6 years. You know what I mean? Like,
That's it.
yeah.
And it's sort of like that's the game. You have to just accept those are the rules. You have to plant so many seeds that you forget about them.
Hmm.
Like you have to hedge your bets that much to get any sort of return. And you never know if the return is even going to come. So you better like have a good savings account to, it used to be like, oh, have a savings account to cover 6 months of no work. And then after, some of these crazy curveball years with wild elections and like COVID is like, no, you better having savings account for like 10 to 12 months of no work
Yeah.
if you want to be in the game for 20 years, 30 years.
And I guess we're going into a new year. Like, how are you excited for 2026? We're in the new year already. But like, how are you looking? Are you excited? How are you feeling looking at last year, this year? What's your mindset right now? January, what is it, 16th?
16th already. Yeah. Uh, I'm psyched. I gotta be, you gotta be, as always, like cautiously optimistic.
Mm.
Last year was sort of funky. We have all the unknown curveballs coming through of the AI, everybody freaking out but not knowing what's happening. Just yeah, tariffs threw everything off, and suddenly nobody was talking about doing campaigns for 5 months. That threw everything. So it's like last year was a pretty unknown year. I ended on like a good note, which injected some more optimism
Yeah.
in for this year. Uh, but I always try to like if I always hope for work in the coming year, but if there's no work, then I have a plan for all the test shoots I'm going to do that are going to distract me so I
Yeah.
don't get bummed out and depressed that there's no work.
I can't picture you bummed out, man, because you are. That's why I appreciate you. Just seem like you, at least you handle it better than I do. Probably you're this. You have a good energy to you. Like, yeah. How do you deal with that? Like the when you don't have work, it's just like you said, just making work and
It's
keeping.
like don't trying not to focus. It's like tricking yourself.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like, oh, if you don't have work, you're kind of trick yourself into being happy you don't have work so you can finally do the personal projects you've been hoping for. And you're like, yes, finally I'm a week. I have two. Oh my gosh, I can travel somewhere. I can get stuff done. And you have total freedom. Like, when you're working, it's fun. You're connecting with people, you're making great work. But at the same time, like it's fun to go back and forth. It's fun to work with people and have guardrails, but then it's also fun to go back to like total freedom, do whatever you want.
Yeah. For me, I think it's like momentum. Like doing like if it's not even it's not a
Exactly.
paid gig, it's like doing a personal shoot or making a zine. I feel like in my mind, it's like I feel satisfied I made something, and I feel like I'm making like some progress. It's like you're not just sitting around waiting for the phone to call. You're like doing something and just creating. Because at the end of the day, it's why we got into this. You know?
That's it. Like you gotta somehow figure out how your own brain works to keep you excited. Like when were you excited when you were working? And
Hmm.
then sort of harness that. Like, oh, I was excited by going out and shooting some skating. Like it's not gonna pay me anything. All right, I gotta find a skater that wants to go shoot. Then you get that like home run image and you just like get that feeling of like tingly feeling like, oh my God, everything came together. That's the perfect images. And that just, you can ride that high for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Hopefully the phone rings.
Yeah. It's like I said, like we've both been doing this a while. I don't know if you've ever felt like this because once you start making it your career and you have to pay your bills from it, you can get so focused on this like chasing the job, chasing the job, chasing the job, and I've kind of like lost the plot sometimes. What I getting back to those early days. The early days of your career, you're just so excited. You're this not that I'm not excited now, but it's like you're just so hungry to like get your first opportunity. You're excited to make your first portfolio and just getting the nitty gritty of like making all this stuff and like I don't know if you ever like people get jaded in this business. Have you ever lost the plot or like what's like gets you back to why you got into it, you think?
I mean, I think it's trying to go back to put yourself in your mindset of when you were like that age and that's all you were thinking about and that's all you were hungry for and you were super jazzed on it.
Yeah.
But then almost trying to recreate, what was happening then. Like what kind of music were you listening to? Were you like reading a certain magazine? Were you seeing certain music videos, or did you watch like a certain couple of movies in a row or a documentary? Like now I sort of have my go-to lists where it's like, all right, this is the music from 2008. This is going to get me pumped up in the same way that I was pumped up back then. Or like, I got to put on the Beautiful Losers documentary and watch that and get jazzed again. Like, and for me, that it works.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got to watch some Tyler the Creator Odd Future video from 2007
Hmm.
just for 3 minutes to start my day. Like instead of watching the news, watch that video, and that's gonna get me in
Yeah, let's get
the
it.
right mindset, not like to worry about money,
Yeah.
all the negative stuff. It's like you gotta.
Just focus on the
Like,
work. Just focus on the work. Just make the
that's it.
all that.
Just
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah, all that shit you don't really have that much control over a lot of times.
exactly. You have
Yeah.
no control over it. So it's like, what do you have control over? It's whatever you're doing today.
Hmm.
That's what you have control over. So like refocusing, like you're saying, like get those goals in mind and just go after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, no, that's good. One project you kind of shared with me when we met up a few months back in Boston. I don't know if you have a name for this project, really. I guess Polaroid Friends. But correct me if I'm wrong, but this project is basically like you're doing Polaroids of people like that you admire. Like some of it's like musicians, it's artists, and you're kind of just like reaching out to them, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like instead of keeping it to myself, because like the long-term project was called Teen Idols,
Yeah.
and I used it as an excuse to reach out to sort of heroes I had in my formative years. Uh and then sort of like the old Polaroid, the Polaroid big shot I shoot these with, like you have to be with the person for 60 seconds while the film develops. So
Yeah.
it's sort of an excuse to get to talk to those people and help myself like overcome the fear of talking to people, and also like getting to actually meet these people that were my heroes in person and then see if they were worth idolizing back in the day. You know,
Yeah, it's and when did you start this project?
this was probably like 2005 or 2006.
That's amazing. Yeah, you got to meet some amazing people. Shepherd Ferry, and then like,
Yeah, that one was last year with Shepard Fairey. That was amazing.
and you're just like, oh damn, John Cardiel, Andrew WK. Are for these people, like, how are you making these connections? Is it just kind of like reaching out to them on social media, or like emailing them, or like how do you?
Like all of the above,
Yeah,
reaching out social media, um, cold emailing, reaching out to managers, got ludicrous.
was Ludacris inspiration music wise early on? Were you a big fan of Ludacris?
I mean, in the 2000s, who
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
but yeah, he was probably the one person that he was a professional when I got to shoot with him,
yeah,
but he wasn't like over the top friendly, which is totally understandable. Like,
yeah, yeah.
but everybody else I've met, uh, like Killer Mike, Cardiel, they've all been so nice. Like Ian Mackay from Minor Threat.
How
Everyone's
do you,
been over the top nice. It's crazy.
and like what's the pitch? Like how do you pitch this project? Like how do you approach it?
I mean, literally just, you know, can I shoot your portrait for 60 seconds?
Yeah.
And
So you only take one frame, 60 seconds, and that's it?
I mean, usually I'll try to take two
Yeah.
just because I've known like this film is unpredictable
Yeah.
and sometimes it won't come out. So, and I've lost one shot uh of Megan Rapinoe, and it like the feel like I peeled it apart and it like got her pink hair. The ink was
Uh,
still good, and then the bottom half her face was all gone.
damn.
And I had no extra time to get even a second one. So
Brutal.
I'm always like, all right, if I can get him for 2 minutes, that's the dream.
That's cause, right?
Yeah,
Damn. That's like, where'd you photograph him at?
that was like the most random. Stebbs and I somehow got a call from a museum in Connecticut in 2006, and they were going to host Cause's first ever like legit museum show. And so we were just doing sort of event coverage opening of the show, and so at the end, I don't know, like doing the Polaroids, somehow people get more excited about it than just like, oh, can I just take your picture?
Yeah.
Like actually in that show I didn't even take any legit other portraits of Cause. It was just at the end. It's like, oh, can we just do this Polaroid real quick? And he was down for it. He was more interested in it. Everyone's asking like, what's up with that camera? Why is it so crazy? Because you have
And
to focus at like 36 inches exactly.
yeah.
So you have to. They call it like the big shot dance. Like you're looking through, and it's like the two faces come together in the prism.
What
So you like get their eyes exactly focused, and then you snap it.
what made you want to shoot the Polaroid for this project initially?
I think that like because it's so unique of a camera,
It's an experience.
it's an experience,
Yeah.
and that, like instead of me having to talk,
Yeah.
which when I started off, I was so introverted, like I didn't know what to talk to fill the space with, and so like this camera is so crazy looking that the person you're shooting is probably going to ask you questions, and I can answer questions like to fill the silence. That's pretty easy. So it's just like a conversation piece, and then I get the unique portrait like out of it in the end. So yeah,
How did you work through like being an introvert? Because like looking at your work, like I think most I would never think you're an introvert because it's like everything's like a party, it's a good time, it's like some crazy road trip, or it's like some like this project here, you're shooting these like celebrities and stuff. Like how do you kind of work through that to the point where you can make the work you're making these days?
and that's the thing. Like even today, I still feel introverted when I go on shoots. Uh, I guess I sort of try to like make myself as comfortable as possible beforehand, and like try to trick myself to take the pressure off.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, you're just hanging out with this person. Oh, like, oh, it's like, I used to throw a lot of parties in the college and after college days. We had like the skate house with the half pipe in the living room. It's like, all right, just like you're putting on music, you're creating an experience, you're just making an atmosphere to have fun in, and then you happen to be shooting photos too. So it's like, all right, you're just hanging out with people, like just telling myself that over and over. Yeah, which was
It's good to challenge yourself. The thing I take away from
that.
The Polaroid project is like it just shows like all you have to do is ask in this life, and it's a lot of no's, but you never know. Like if you just ask, you can get some cool opportunities, and you've got to interact with some interesting people. If you didn't ask, you never would have had that experience.
You never know. Like
Yeah.
that was something I learned a long time ago. Like say, fuck it.
Yep.
What's the worst? They're gonna say no. All right,
No big deal. On to the
no
next.
big deal.
On to the next thing.
On to the next. You got a list of people you want to meet. Like you got 100 creative directors you want to meet. Reach out to 100. Like you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but how much film you got? Because I feel they don't make it anymore, right? So what are you gonna fucking
It,
do?
it hurts.
This project's just gonna end by this the no more film being around.
Every year I'm like, I gotta stop doing this because it's brutal. Like it
What?
used
Yeah.
to
What's a
be,
box? What's a box go? What does it come in like? 20 or something?
it's a 10
Eh,
pack, and it was. I mean, when I started, it was a buck a shot, $10 for the 10 pack. Now
yeah.
it's like 220 for a 10.
Okay. Okay.
So it's
Uh,
like almost $25 a shot. And I've
Oh fuck! Okay. I thought you were saying $2. Do $25 for a shot? Jesus Christ,
and I've
dude.
gotten dead boxes off eBay
Oh
where it's
man.
like $200 up, and everyone's just white. Like something
That's
happened to it.
That's
The ink
the
is dead.
that's the risk with all that stuff. Like I was looking at like I love those old context point and shoots. I was on eBay last night and I was like saw one for like a T2 for like 800, but I'm like, you're just gambling. Like you're buying that thing and you might work for a month and then it's done. Like,
I literally bought a T2 last year,
yeah.
and yeah, like half the time it just freezes. And I was like,
It
that
su it sucks.
that
Someone
sucks,
needs to resurrect that. That's
right?
yeah, contact that's it's so good.
It's awesome. Although like the Olympus, the little Muji
The stylus one.
stylus,
Yeah,
the Epic is like,
it's good.
and I can buy like four of those for the price of a T2.
Oh, really? Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Maybe I gotta maybe do that then.
and the autofocus on it is like so. I have a T4,
Yeah.
uh, and like it's like 60% autofocus works for the snapshots.
That's my
But
goal for this year. I want to get a point and shoot, and then just get back to like CVS style, just getting prints, and then getting like those cheap like albums, like we had like people that had grown up like for like
oh
family.
yeah,
That's my goal for this year. I just want to go to Walmart, buy cheap albums, 4x5 prints. And that's what I want to do this year. Just get back.
that's just make it happen. That's what
Yeah,
all of those Polaroids are in, like old plastic sheets, like old school.
yeah.
It's got like a terrible leather bound old photo album from Salvation Army and start filling it up.
I miss those days, early days. I mean, I remember I didn't go to school at Nisop in Boston, but I would rent darkroom space, and I just missed the tangible, like going through negatives and prints and organized. I had my binder and I had everything organized, but now it's just like with digital, you don't there you kind of just miss that aspect of it.
Dude, that's it. Like I love printing stuff out, even shitty prints, and then I just tack them up to the wall and I just stare at them. Like it's sort of like I was saying, like recreating that mindset of when you were back in the day. Like how were you being inspired? It was like
Yeah.
posters on the wall, pictures of your friends on the wall, hanging a Polaroid on the wall. So I still like this part of my office is like the clean wall,
Yeah.
and the wall behind my computer is just madness.
So do you still have a printed portfolio like when you go meet with clients and stuff like that?
No, not that I bring, which is a super bummer.
Okay, so you're just doing iPad.
Now it's just iPad. Uh, Even like looking at the website on the iPad. Um,
It's tough, man. Like I have nice printed portfolios, but it's just so expensive and hard to keep up with like the updating of it.
for
Like
sure.
every update is like thousands of dollars because you got to
Oh,
buy the paper, you got to buy the ink, and then you're like reprinting it. It's an endeavor.
it's so much money.
Yeah.
So much money.
I,
Yeah. And I don't even know if people want to see it anymore.
yeah.
Like there was like the past 5 years, I was still, or like the last 5 years before COVID,
Yep.
I was still doing printed portfolios. And I was super jazzed because I found this old bookmaker in San Francisco, and I was sick of my like nice white linen portfolio getting dirty
Yep.
and getting back from creative agencies and having like Dorito fingerprints on it and stuff. So I was like, all right, what's the dirtiest material I could think of? So I found old sleeping bag cases from World War II in Vietnam. And then I took that like old school green material,
Yeah.
like stains on it, markers of people's names. And then the bookmaker made my covers out of that.
Wow.
And then like gold foil stamped my name on it. And so I was like, all right, you can't get like, I could send this to a million agencies. It can't get any dirtier than this.
Nah.
And it's got a good story to it. Like,
Yeah.
I loved bringing that thing around, but
Yeah, because I always got like a response probably like
always got a response and it has a built-in story to it. So it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and that's sort of the name of the game too, is like, how do you stand out if
Mm-hmm.
everybody was making amazing portfolios, the last 5 years, like all those good portfolio companies were popping up online and people were killing it. And you're like, how can I make something as good
Different.
as like the great photographers that are out there? So I was like, all right, fuck it. Going back to old brain. I'm making the dirtiest thing, like scrapping it up, making it lived in, and I think like selling that experience and that vibe helps sort of
Yeah, it's like
like
that.
bring my personality into it a little bit more, personalize it.
Yeah, that little bit extra effort you put into it. Like it took you a little more time, you spent a little more money, but then the response it gets is like 10 times better than this like here's
So much.
yeah.
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 And sort of like the story, like getting into photography, I love meeting people. And so like getting to go work with the old grumpy bookmaker that's like, you can't make a book out of a sleeping bag cover. And I was like, can you just try? I'll pay you. Just if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's like just getting to work with that old school dude, having that moment with him for me,
Hmm.
all things like that also help me from getting bummed out when there's no work. Like, oh,
Yeah.
there's 3 months of no work. All right, spend 3 months. Back then, it was like making this portfolio,
Yeah.
going out, reaching out to bookmakers, like talking to them in person, seeing what would work, like connecting with people.
Yeah.
That's the only way to not get bummed out these days. But it
Definitely.
does take more effort.
For sure. I guess we'll go back, man. Like, how do you initially like where do you grow up and like how do you initially pick up a camera and get into photography?
I grew up outside Boston, like north central Massachusetts, just north of Worcester. Um, Went or ended up going to college there too. Uh, Both of my parents were sort of. My dad was just like the dad with a camera,
Yeah.
classic. He always had a camera, and then my mom was like an OCD cataloger of all the CVS prints.
Okay.
Just like making every
Every.
year there's a new one coming out, and like I don't know if my dad even cared about the photos. He was just always shooting photos, capturing the memories.
Hmm.
And so I wasn't really aware of it, but it was always around the house. And then ended up going to school to college for photography, design, and leadership.
Where'd you go? You go Mass Art?
Ended up going to Fitchburg State,
Okay, nice.
which I had like applied to a bunch of schools, and it came down to like RIT
Yeah.
Fitchburg, which Fitchburg was like 8 miles from my house. And I was like, well, I want to go to RIT, and then Fitchburg offered me like a full scholarship,
Smart move.
and I was like, ah, all right, I guess I'll and I've lived on campus, so it wasn't staying at home, so I still the college experience, but luckily walked away with out student loans because I also like went in the dark ages when it was just film.
Yep.
And then like the day I graduated school, it was like, the whole world's digital. Where's your digital portfolio? I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
have anything. This is crazy.
Um, like what kind of work were you making back then? Like, did you already like know what you wanted to pursue photographically, or like what kind of work were you making early on?
No, I was I was way off with what I was shooting. Like in school, all we were shooting was, it was like, all right, if you're going to be a photographer, you're either taking portraits,
Yeah.
working for a magazine, working for a newspaper. If you're a commercial photographer, you're shooting
Still life.
like still life, you're shooting for an Applebee's menu.
Yeah.
And so I was like trying to make all of that work. And then on like my free time, I was just skating, shooting, skating, throwing parties, and just, you know, all that stuff, having fun. But I never was like shooting any of the fun, which was always interesting. And then years later, when I met a rep, and she was like, get rid of all this stuff that you're trying to do and make look good and just shoot having fun with your friends.
Wow.
And that's like, that'll be your portfolio. So like, I never even consciously saw like, oh, I should shoot more fun, more lifestyle, because especially in the Boston market, like the school I went to didn't, I didn't even know you could do that. And then in the Boston market, it was like, there wasn't much of a market for youth lifestyle stuff. So yeah,
Damn, shout out that rep. They gave good advice right there.
just totally opened my eyes. And I was like, wait, you want me to shoot the stuff I want to shoot?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Were there like any photographers early on whose work you kind of inspired you or you kind of looked up to at all?
I mean, definitely like the first ones I was obsessed with were like Glenn Friedman, Ed Templeton, like all the skate photographers, Jerry Sue. Uh, like, do you remember, well, when Stay Gold came out? There was a book.
Yeah.
They had like a hardcover book that you could get the DVD in the back,
Yeah.
and that book was like blew my mind because
Was
it was just lifestyle stuff. It was just
who
people.
shot was it who shot it? I mean,
It was like everybody. It was
it's probably Patrick O'Dell, probably a lot of his stuff, I would
He had
imagine.
some of the stuff in it. Ed had some stuff. I think even there were some shots maybe by Spanky.
Hmm.
Uh, but it was just like so much of it wasn't even tricks. And before that, I was like when I would go skating with my friends, I was still focused on like the trick. And I wasn't shooting any of the lifestyle, any of the in between stuff. And then I saw that book and I was like, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. Like, and it's sort of like, do you see that light? Like the trick, for some reason, those trick photos get old, but the lifestyle stuff feels so timeless.
Hmm.
So that was like, all right, I got to start shooting all the in between stuff. What have I been doing?
Yeah. That's part of the journey though. That's what I realized
Yeah.
like you have to like you shoot all this stuff if you're doing this long enough and then you hopefully figure it out along the way or like your taste change or whatever. Or then the other thing I realized like early on is like you're so hungry when you got to school and you're like, I'm ready. I could shoot campaigns. I could do this. Let's get it. And it took me longer. I'm like, oh yeah, no, like I needed to learn more. And then once you get those opportunities, I'm like, okay, now I'm actually ready for this, you know?
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just, you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, you just got to stick around for the long game. And there's different generations of your style.
Yeah. Eh,
I'm so happy with my style now. I'm so happy that I sort of found what comes naturally, and I still love shooting that way.
how do
I
you
wish
feel?
I'd learned before, but
How do you feel like your style has evolved over the years, and like how do you view it now? Like how would you describe it, you think?
uh I mean, back in the beginning, I was just trying to make it super commercial,
Mm-hmm.
just chasing like those static hero images and really like overthinking it. And now the importance is on finding the right people for a shoot, like finding the right personalities for the shoot, and then creating an atmosphere and a background that feels right, like putting on the right music, getting the right vibes going, the right crew that's going to support the right vibes, and then the moments are going to just start happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do it that way, then there's like, instead of chasing like five hero moments for a campaign, like you're going to have an endless amount at the end of the day to choose from.
Yeah.
Sort of, I've learned to like work backwards into creating the vibe and the atmosphere for people to have fun in. And then it's just made it so much easier to get those hero shots.
Yeah. And I guess when you got out of school, like what was that kind of your first step into the photo world? Did you assist? Did you go straight to shooting, or like what was those early days like for Keena?
That was assisting.
Yeah.
That was all assisting around Boston. Uh just trying to learn from the old heads in town there. Uh just learning like how to talk to people. Just I mean, everything was just switching over to digital, which was crazy. But learning just the confidence that some of those photographers had. Uh so yeah, I mean those were the late 2000s in Boston. It was just like fixed gear all around town between.
People still had studios in Seaport before Seaport turned into what it is now. It was
Dude, like Seaport was that was there was barely any studios down there back then. It was crazy. Like
was EP Levine still there? Because remember they used to be in the dry dock.
that was like the only thing in Dry Dock, which is crazy.
Yep.
That was the only thing. But there was like a couple studios in Cambridge. There was like Gary Sloan had his out in Newton,
Mm-hmm.
way out there. I was like digiteching over at the Clarks. Um, when Clarks had their headquarters in Newton,
Yep.
Digitech there. Converse had their old when they were in the warehouse, like north of Boston, like 10 miles.
Yeah, where they were like not Waltham, what town? Some random town. Well, like,
It was middle of nowhere.
yeah. I know what
It
you're
was
talking.
so
Yeah,
I'd go up and like assist and Digitech in the basement of that, do some of the ecom stuff, help out there. Uh, then I remember I got hired as a studio manager for actually that yeah the last photographer or Paul Saraceno. Did you ever work with him?
no, I know the name, but I never worked with him.
He was the nicest, like literally the nicest guy I've ever met, which was so nice to see, like somebody killing it in the commercial world
Yeah.
and also just being a genuine, really nice human.
Mm-hmm.
Like other photographers I'd worked for, they could talk the talk and they could be like Mr. Slick, but he was just super, super nice,
That's
which is
good.
always nice. Then I remember I got hired by Gary Sloan to be a studio manager and worked there for like a month. And I thought I was doing great. And then he like came into the back one day. I was like organizing a bunch of stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, so you've been doing great. I really think you should run your own studio."
Oh, really? Why do you think he said that?
And I was like, what? I I don't know what was, and probably like he wanted things run a certain like exactly how he'd always have them run,
Yeah,
and I was like finding efficiencies, like if we did things this way, like it'd be easier to find when we're packing up for a shoot on location.
yeah.
And I think he just wanted someone to just do exactly the way it always had been done.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of like a one of those backward compliments, like
I get it.
Hey, you're really good at what you do, but also you're fired.
How
I was
did you
like,
how did you take that? Was it obviously no one likes getting fired? It's a
I
shitty
mean that was
feeling.
like the nail. That was the final thing to be like, stop assisting. You gotta, if
Go
you're gonna
for it.
do it, you gotta do it.
Yep.
And I think I was after that. I was backpacking through Ireland, and Stebbs and I, we'd been commuting down to Boston. We were like living in Fitchburg, and we'd commute like 2 hours
Yeah.
with traffic into Boston to assist. And then after that, it was like, all right, we got to move down to Boston. We got to be in the mix. And then we found, did you ever go to Fringe? There's like a big warehouse in Cambridge.
I don't know.
Uh, so it was like 15 of us that all sort of left our real jobs and rented the whole bottom floor of a warehouse in like near the Somerville Cambridge lines.
Yeah.
And everybody, like I was doing photo, Stebbs was doing video. We built a full psych wall. We built it out of plywood so you could actually skate it too. It was like part of it was a 3 foot tranny that was like traditional, and then the last 2 feet of the wall was a 6 foot tranny.
Yeah.
So you could like skate the whole thing, hit the 6 foot tranny, and then drop into the 3 foot. And then we had a mini ramp in our office. But there was like web designers. There was a guy who did letterpress. There was an engineer that had like a CNC machine.
Wow.
So it was like everybody, and then we could sort of co-work. It was like sort of right before the co-working spaces and WeWork popped up. So this was like a homemade DIY co-working space. But everybody, like, we got our cards pressed by the letterpress guy, and then Stebbs made a video for the letterpress guy, and then I would do photos for other people's websites, and then the web designer would. So everybody's like trading their work for each other,
It's
which
got to be inspiring to be around that atmosphere because as you
that was
know
the thing. That's what we all
now
needed, you
you're
know?
just a solo guy out in North Carolina or wherever and I'm same thing there's less and less that community I feel like
Yeah,
I mean it's not that it's not there but it takes more effort the older you get I think but I mean
for
early
sure.
days it must have been like inspiring to be around all those different creatives and bouncing off each other right
That was the thing. It was sort of like thinking back to when you were in college, like co-work or co-creating with other students,
yep
and it's just this atmosphere of if you're slowing down, like somebody else is making something inspiring, that's going to spark you to start doing something. So then these like 15 people that were all trying to leave their real secure jobs and go off do their own independent thing,
yep
it just helped you like light a fire under you. Like if you were starting to get too comfy, you saw the other person, like literally could hear them on the phone cold calling people. You're like, oh, that's what I got to do.
yep
And then, we'd all be up till midnight or one every single night,
Yeah,
still
you
hustling. Like,
motivate each other, man. And it's like even if you're not physically, I know for me, I have to like the friends, the circle of friends I have, I need to like who work in the business. It's like if I don't have them man to bounce ideas off. Like I was just talking to my friend Yuri last night, who was an amazing photographer in LA, and we're just kind of talking about marketing stuff. And it's like if I didn't have that, I would just feel lost. Like so, like
that's it. You
Fi
need it.
yeah, the community aspect is important to, like you're saying, those months where you're not busy, you got no work, man. Like
Food.
you could
You
lose.
need to lean on your friends to not just quit and
Yeah.
roll up and die. There's some like depressing lows when you're like, maybe this is it. No, everyone in the world has forgotten about me.
Yeah. That's what it feel. That's the feeling. It feels like, do I still exist in this business? You know what I mean? Like it's,
Not.
yeah, it's a weird feeling, man.
Which is, oh, it's such a bummer because it might not even be a real,
No.
it's all in your own head.
Yeah, shit just moves slowly, but that is amazing. So what were kind of some of the first clients you started working with once you started shooting on your own?
There was the first big one was when I sort of stopped. It was a random, like I'd stopped working at Clark's in the doing ecom and digiteching there, and then like a year later, it was like Stubbs and I, we came up sort of partnering and having each other's back, but our approach was like he was video and I was photo. And that way, if I was doing a photo job, he'd be my first assistant for free.
Yep.
And then he could also plug himself to the client. not, it wouldn't be competition, but then they'd be like, oh yeah, I do need photo too, or I do need video too.
Yeah.
And then I would be his assistant when he was doing video job. And so we would try to like piggyback. So then we ended up just doing a lot of team jobs after that. Then we started to get like jobs where they needed photo and video. And we had met a creative director, and he was doing a campaign for Clark's that was like 5 cities around the world. And they needed it to be like run and gun, pretty scrappy. Uh, and they paid pennies, and we were like, "You want us to shoot and go like around the world?" Like it was, or no, that was I was right when I was stopping doing assisting. Then I was like, "All right, my portfolio needs to be banger. Like I need to shoot what I want to shoot."
Yeah.
And I didn't have much. I wanted to shoot for like the North Face. That was a dream, and I didn't have like big mountain stuff in
Yeah,
my book.
you only get hired for what you have in your book.
Right. So then it's one of those things like you sort of a lot of this job is like going out on your own and like leaving your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So my wife and I, she was girlfriend at the time. We took 10 months off to go backpacking around the world.
Wow.
And like the last month was going to be hiking in the Himalayas. So I could get like the Himalayas in my book. That was my like, this is what I need to do it. Like, I don't know why. It could have been much easier,
Yeah.
you know, going to Yosemite or
Could have
something.
got Mount Washington up in New Hampshire.
Exactly. It'd been way easier, but I was like, no, that's the only way to get hired. But like Jimmy Chin, he's over there. I got to do this.
Yeah, yeah.
So we did that, and I sort of like left the grind behind just to shoot what I wanted, build up the book, and then I was like, all right. Then after when I get back, then I'll be able to do meetings. I'll have a portfolio that also has stories in it, and so I'll just have like this newfound confidence. And then literally as we had done like 9 months around the world. We were in the Himalayas, and then we had just gotten back. We flew to Egypt, and we were in Cairo, and then I got a call or an email saying like from Stebbs, oh, we got this opportunity to do a job for Clark's going one way around the world. Can you be back from your trip like in 2 weeks?
Wow.
Ah! All right. So we cut the rest of our trip short, flew right back. I got back to Boston, and then we shot it was DJs wearing Clark's. So we went to LA, Japan, Italy, and London.
That's,
And so
that's
it was like I got to go one way around the world on a personal trip, like soul searching and portfolio building.
then you got a
And then
job.
I got engaged in the Himalayas too.
Oh shit.
And then landed back home and went one way around the world again for work. And that was sort of like the first real big job
That's
that suddenly like, started to change things a bit.
that's incredible. And then I know you've been rep by BA reps for years. When did you kind of start working with them? Is that your first and only rep, or like what's that relationship been like for you, I guess?
I started off with Sherry Riyadh,
Oh
who
yeah.
had Riyadh reps back in the day. She was the one that really like helped me like find my voice. And I remember I took the Fenghua bus down to Boston,
Yeah.
from Boston down to New York for $1.
Yeah.
Had like 20 meetings with anybody that knew anybody that would get coffee. Had all these meetings. Half of the people didn't even show up.
Yeah.
Just like me and my little portfolio under my arm. And then I was getting back on the Fenghua and got a call, and it was like a creative director up in New Hampshire, and he was like, hey, are you still in New York? I've got a friend who's a rep, and she's looking for a youth lifestyle guy. Can you go meet with her right now?
Hmm.
I like got off the bus, went met with her, and then sort of ended it was like a handshake deal. Got on the roster with her.
Wow, just on the spot, like first time meeting, just like
Crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
which does not happen.
No, no.
That was like the old world. It does not happen like that. And yeah, she was just like, I think she had sort of different photographers in each like category.
Yeah.
She had lost her youth lifestyle guy, and I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing, like youth lifestyle. She's like, yeah, like all the skateboarding you shoot, instead of trying to get it for a skateboarding brand, like you shoot skateboarding and we'll sell it to Visa
Yep.
called Youth Lifestyle. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. And then was on with her for like 7 years. Actually, Michael Prince,
Yep.
he was on there. Yeah, some killer, amazing photographers that were all like,
It was like
um,
Troy House. Was he on there?
yeah, Troy was on there,
Yep.
and they were all super nice, older dudes that had been in the game, and they would always get on the phone with me and talk and help me out, which was really nice. And then I think like 2018, she was changing over her business model to like get away from traditional
Photography.
stills and video and like trying to figure out where the ad world was going. And then she helped me get meetings over at BA.
Oh wow.
And then yeah, did sort of like some trial months with them and then ended up locking it in, like loving my rep over there. Uh
And like I never had a rep. But like having rep, you feel like it's like you have if you want to work commercially, like advertising work, like do you think you could get the type of work you have without a rep, or like I guess what do they bring to the table? Is it like I said? Because I was having this conversation with a photographer friend. He's like, yeah, if you want to shoot high end advertising, they won't even look at you if you don't have a rep. It's almost like a qualifier thing or something. I guess like what's your opinion on that? I guess.
I mean, it definitely helps get people to like answer the door
Hmm.
when it's coming from that, and they have so many, like the reps have so many relationships that they've already built
Yep.
over the years. Like in BA was they're like the oldest rep agency in New York,
Hmm.
which is crazy. So like the relationships that they have and the reputation they have,
Big roster too. Going from Sherry to them, it's like way
crazy different.
yeah,
Yeah,
way different.
way different. She was like, that felt like the mom and pop,
Yeah.
which was awesome because I felt super close to her and just trusted her, and people loved her personality. Like I knew that she was not like a salesman,
Hmm.
like a slick salesman. Like people just loved her personality, and I was like, that's the kind of roster I want to be on.
Hmm.
And then when I met Luigi over at BA, like we both showed up to our first meeting. We were like both wearing Keith Haring t-shirts. And I was like,
All
all right,
right.
so we got there's like some good vibes going on here. And yeah, just after hearing like it's a bigger roster, but they have different reps. So it's sort of
Yeah,
like
they have more infrastructure and people working there and like
yeah, so it's
yeah.
pretty much like each main rep over there has, you know, 6 or 7 people that they get to focus on, but they just have like yeah, a bigger structure. But it's definitely like you could definitely hit some big campaigns without a
y-
rep,
Yep.
but it's just a lot more hustle
Yep.
and work.
Because what
Uh,
do you feel like your rep does for you? Obviously, they help you, I don't know, your estimates, or is it them helping to open doors and get meetings for you? Like, what is it, like, as your relationship with BA now, like, what is it that they bring to the table for you, you think?
I mean, they definitely help. Um, they help with estimates. They help a lot with, that all the business stuff,
Yep.
estimates, billing. Some brands go to them with campaigns looking for, oh, who do you have that can fit this vibe? So they meet and have relationships with brands that I might not ever get in the game with, especially if you're talking like pharma or stuff like that, where it's good to have sort of an extension of me with my rep in New York
Hmm.
and having like my rep working in LA, like that way I don't need to be in New York or LA making friends and shaking hands and doing all that. So it's really nice that they can sort of do a lot of the front door marketing
Yep.
and keep things like polished and really sell like when I land a campaign and they want to share that, like they can share all that. And then I like to sort of balance that out. That's what that like, oh, I can go do a skateboarding shoot and be able to like hold on to like what got me really jazzed in the first place.
Hmm.
So I mean, like I could be a much better businessman than I am now, but I would lose the spark that keeps me excited about photography.
Yeah.
And so having a rep,
Takes a little
and
off your plate.
yeah, and they've helped like balance it out so that I don't need to like chase payments, like going after all that stuff that like
Hmm.
that stuff could really bum me out and
Yeah.
drag me down, you know?
Middleman.
And to take up all of your time
Yep.
just doing that. So it's like it frees up some of my time so I can dream a little bit more and like be that little kid that's like, oh, I just imagine doing a shoot like this. And then I can focus, put my time in, make that happen,
Yeah.
and know that somebody else is still hustling and keeping my name afloat so that I feel a little bit more secure when, yeah, when I'm working on those personal projects that might take me away from the hustle and
Yeah.
grind.
No, that's good. I want to pull up one campaign. I think you shot it last year for Kona beer, which I think you shot in Hawaii, right?
Yeah,
Like really beautiful work. Like how'd this project come about and like how do you kind of approach making this campaign, I guess?
that was a dream shoot. I mean, shooting in Hawaii is so
Is
dreamy.
this can is that you don't have to say if you don't want it. Is that photoshopped in? Like
It's not photoshopped in. That was actually shot
okay.
on the beach in front of. It's not a real fire.
Okay.
That part,
Got it.
but the can, everything like the liquid,
Yep.
all of that. They hired me.
Damn, dude, that's good styling. You guys have like a food stylist or a drink stylist on this one?
We had a drink stylist.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it was all about. They really wanted to like let things splash
Mm-hmm.
and get that real moment. It was a crazy job because it sort of came down to I was bidding against somebody that was like a full AI artist,
Wow.
and it was sort of like I feel like I feel like I'm in Terminator here. Like this is gonna predict where the future goes. Either like I lose to an AI artist,
Yeah.
and that's the end of photography as I know it,
Yep.
or they're gonna want someone that likes creating splashes in
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
And then there's hope for the humans, you know.
Yeah, there hopefully it's a hope for the humans. I think it's gonna be a balance.
It's gonna
Uh
be done, yeah. But then luckily they went for creating splashes in camera, which was amazing. They were shooting um video uh for this. They were doing like TV commercials too. And so it's sort of like they were asking like, can you come on set and also get these,
yep.
but be flexible around like when we're gonna get the talent and what we can do on sets because you might be able to use the video sets, you might not be able to.
Yeah.
So like this was like a beach bar that we'd have to build because video had built their own bar on the beach, but then they're like, nope, you can't use ours. So then
Damn.
we had to go to the props department. Like, do you have any pieces of wood? Do you
Yeah,
have?
and you're like the photo team is like, yeah, we don't give a shit.
Oh,
dude.
you didn't get any. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
nothing at the end of the day. So like, you try to make friends with the grip guys. Like, oh, do you have anything we can borrow? Oh, the props department, can we use one of these just like 10 minutes, real quick?
Mm-hmm.
So that was just like being scrappy, like problem solving on the go.
Yeah, he's figured out.
Just figure it out. Like that, the fire shot, they didn't even have, they forgot to pull a permit for the stills to have a fire. So
Oh
video could
shit.
have a fire on the beach, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
So, but we wanted to recreate the fire that they were having in the TV commercial. So we had to go like around the corner, and then I had to have an assistant like he's holding the flash. He's got a bunch of extra CTO over the top of it.
Oh, so that's why
All right,
their faces look all orange. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
you
it's
had to
like,
like
all right,
fake it. Damn, all right.
let's get the glow in the right direction, and then the fire. Then after we got this shot, then I ran over to the TV set, put on my long lens, and then literally I'm shooting silently through people's legs to get their real fire
Oh,
at
so you
that
could
time of day,
shit.
and then was able to retouch and bring that in after to make it so
Yeah.
that was all like in camera
Yep.
but photoshopped together,
Damn. Shout out to the
which is
reach.
what like I love
Retouching.
retouching.
Oh, you do your own retouching on this stuff?
Yeah,
Damn, that's good. Do,
which that has helped me like over the years so much.
oh, so you do all your retouching on all your campaigns?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I'm still like looking for the person that I fully trust. Like I've got a friend that does hot dang digital out of Denver,
Yep.
and he's done retouching. He's next level, kills it. But like, yeah, trying to find someone that gets your flavor,
Hmm.
so tough,
Well, that's good. I mean, more money for you. Um,
right?
just more time in front of the computer.
It's sort of like I love that balance. Like half the time I love being on set with 40 people
hmm.
and you just go, 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 and it's crazy adrenaline all day. And then like the next week, I'm just 40 hours in front of my computer, headphones on, like in the dark, retouching,
That's good.
you
Yeah, it
know.
seems like you kind of started doing a lot more like stuff in the beverage space, be it like Kona beers, Lagunitas.
It's
Um,
yeah, it comes in waves like that, you know.
yeah.
It's like you get one and then somebody sees it and then it piggybacks on that. Like you never know what each shoot is gonna lead to or who's watching over your shoulder that might be hiring you years down the road.
And with these type of shoots, because people look at these are just the hired talent. They're not friends. They probably just met each other that day. But how do you create this environment where it looks like this could be your friends is partying on a Friday or Saturday night or something like that? Like, how do you approach this?
That's sort of that's I mean my favorite thing is casting people
Yep.
and casting the right personalities. I mean, like definitely when we're doing casting, if we're going through a casting network, making sure we have video of of each person because people are totally different than when you go to a casting director, like you can find somebody based on a still of their photo, but
You
that's
don't,
totally different than how they're going to act.
yeah, you don't know their personality, if they're going to be introverted, extroverted,
Right.
whatever. Difficult. Yeah.
So I learned that years ago. So it's like if you can get if an agent like agency like this was little out of Minneapolis,
Yep.
and they trusted me when I was like, because they came to me saying, "All right, we want this to be authentic. We want it to feel real, real, not fake real. Like, how are we gonna do that?" I'm like, "The first thing, it's got to be about the people that we're bringing to the table. Like,
Yep.
can't be based on looks. They have to be based on personality."
Hmm.
And they actually, everyone over there trusted me and went with that. And they're like, "All right, let's find people based on personalities." And then would take my suggestions when I was like, "All right, these two people actually know each other, and these two people actually know each other, and this other person I know personally, and I know they can be friends instantly with anybody on
So
set."
it's some of the stuff you're not going to a modeling agency. You're literally just casting it like yourself, people you know, like that type of thing.
I mean, it's sort of a mix.
Yeah.
It's people I know, friends of friends. Like, if somebody can vouch for somebody
Yep.
that I'll trust, we can bring them on set, and then I'll go to modeling agencies too and be like, talk to the people over there and be like, all right, I'm looking for people that have personality. Who do you have that can show up and just have fun? Like doesn't need direction on set. If we say just have a party, they can just have a party.
And
I mean, some of it, like, some of this is also casting skateboarders too, because
yeah,
I know
look
if you
at
tell them to party, they can party.
yeah, because that's the other thing is photos. People could think like, oh, this is shot at night. It could be 10 in the morning. You're shooting this shit.
It
Like,
usually, it's
yeah,
10 in the morning.
yeah. So you have to like, and I'm sure it's like, it's like it takes a while just to get the thing going. You know?
Always. That's
Yeah.
the thing is like, all right, how do you also need to find personalities that when you can say, all right, it's 8 in the morning, we have to pretend we're having a party. Like
Yeah.
they can turn it up fast and furious.
Yeah.
Because there's some people like I've had shoots back in the day where somebody looks great and then you get them on set and you're like, can you like just make friends, just have fun, like just feel the vibe? And they're like, oh, but what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's up to you. Like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
how are
Some
you gonna have fun? What is fun for you? Like, so
some
it's
some
it's
people need more direction than others.
yeah.
Um, uh,
Casting the right personalities is key. If
mhm,
you want people to have fun in the photos,
yep.
want like their body language to also say they're having fun.
Yeah.
You want them to stop thinking about the camera altogether, like cast based on personalities, and then set the atmosphere and let them know like there's a freedom on this set.
Yeah, that's
And
cool,
if we
man.
have to get something like, you know, then you sort of let it roll. After an hour, then you're like, oh, actually, we do need to turn the can slightly so we can see a logo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But now they're in the groove, they're having fun,
Yep.
and so they're not overthinking at least,
Yeah, yeah. It's
and
about
it just
balance.
lets the magic come out of the photos.
That's cool, man. And I guess to wrap up, man, like you've been at this for a while. Like, what keeps you going? Anything you're excited about this year to be you're gonna work on, or what's next for Keena?
Uh, always working on the next zine. I try to put out zines every year, which is just all of my quirky personal shoots, film stuff, messed up stuff, like the stuff that helps stretch my mind
Yeah.
to stay creative. Uh, so I'm always like, all right, the next scene, I want some shots of cliff jumping in Maui, so that's on the to-do list. I want some people jumping from rooftop to rooftop in the Bronx in New York. All right, that's on the to-do list. Uh, Getting out to LA next week, meeting up with some people and shooting some skating, shooting some graffiti, like all the stuff that has kept me excited for the past 20 years. Still getting after that. Like you've said a million times on the podcast, like shoot what you love,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll get hired for more of that. Like taking that to heart and
Sounds
never.
like bullshit, but it works. It's
It does
not.
sound bullshit. It's like it can't be like that. It can't be that easy.
Yeah.
But you just got to chase after
Yeah.
exactly what you wish you were doing a campaign for,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna get hired for it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
It'll
I
take
mean, you
way
obviously
longer.
have to
It'll
share it.
take way longer than you think, but
Way longer.
you'll get some opportunities.
The opportunities will come, but like building that portfolio, I still get requests like, oh, we're looking for a photographer who has shot this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go into the portfolio and bring up stuff. I mean, literally, uh, like 2 years ago, Brooks Running, they wanted to do a campaign, and I was up against some other people, and they're like, yeah, we want to show people just like running in whatever makes them comfortable. We want a guy just like streaking across a field in his sneakers. I was like, actually, I literally have that in the portfolio. 2006,
Shit.
Stebbs running naked through a field in sneakers. Like,
That was your Ryan McGinley era.
we probably was.
I was fucking with
He was
you.
Brian McGinley had a freedom to what he was shooting. He shot exactly what he wanted,
Yeah,
and he rose to the top. Like,
for real.
seeing people like that, Glenn Friedman shooting exactly what he wants,
Just raw. It's raw.
just raw. Like, did you ever see Todd Seeley's stuff out of
Uh
New York from
oh
that?
yeah, yep, yep.
He would, shoot the fixed gear parties and people with flamethrowers in abandoned warehouses in Williamsburg when nothing was there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, amazing. Like, so inspirational. There's
Yeah.
like dark ages of the 2000s.
Yeah, man.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Keena, man,
Oh,
thanks so much for taking the time and
of course. Thank you so much for having me.
yeah, like I said, I really appreciate your work and this your hustle and it inspires me, man, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for all the inspiration. You doing this podcast, helps keep us lonely freelancers feeling like we have sort of a central artery of other photographers to get inspired by. So keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
and let's hang out in Boston soon.
Thanks, man. There you have it. That was the Keena episode. Just want to thank Keena so much for taking the time to come on the podcast. It was a real pleasure to talk to him about his journey with photography and everything he's working on. If you want to go check out more of Keena's work, you can go to keenaphoto.com or you can follow him on Instagram at KeenaPhoto. I'll put all the links in the show notes, but definitely go give him a follow. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I also have t-shirts and hoodies available over at thephotobanter.com. So if you'd like to support the podcast, you can go grab a t-shirt over at thephotobanter.com. And also with today's episode, if you go to pickdrop.com, you'll get 2 months free of the PickDrop image transfer tool. All you have to do is go over to pickdrop.com, enter the promo code BANTER, and you'll get 2 months free. So definitely go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, thanks so much for listening, and take care.